Welcome to the AstralTulpaWizardCast episode 4. So we got Lalo back.
Hello.
And now we got Brendan from the Bohemian Grove staying in, but he's sick, so we won't be talking a lot.
Give him your astral energy.
Victims of Ebola, lend me your energy! There's this webcomic called the Ebola Files. It's the greatest thing ever made.
Ebola Files?
Yeah, it's like this Japanese guy making like an American like CGI manga about like this guy who's been hired by the government to kill everyone with Ebola, and he has like Ebola powers. He has like the Ebola bomb and shit. Ebola
I've
blast!
seen you post images of it, and it looks spectacular.
He like kicks the skull. This is Ebola! It's like a Sparta kick.
I feel like having powers based on the number of people with Ebola is a very of any illness you could pick. Like Ebola kills you so fast.
Yeah, it's probably a weakness he has to overcome in the shonen battles.
He has to spread it faster before they die.
Yeah, look up Ebola Files. It's pretty good.
This podcast has been sponsored by
The Ebola
The
Files.
Ebola Files.
So what I want to talk about this episode is ghosts. Ghosts! I think ghosts are interesting because they're not really based in any specific religion. In fact, they're kind of like... There's been like ghostly things in like a lot of religions and like across the world, even though they aren't connected. It's kind of weird.
I think it's just such a natural, intimate human concept, you know? The idea of what happened when you die? Where do people go? And they become a ghost is a very natural conclusion.
Ghostly concepts are mainly centered in the Old World area of the Middle East. So they were like in ancient Egypt. They were in the Hebrew Bible, where they specifically reference ghosts as like forbidden occult activities of like summoning ghosts and stuff. Like that's bad. In Greece, ghosts were like in the Odyssey and Iliad. And in the New Testament, Jesus actually had to convince his disciples that he wasn't a ghost. That's also interesting. He's like, it seems even back then they're like, oh shit, weird shit's happening, must be a ghost. So it's like way older than I thought it was.
What if Jesus was a ghost the whole time?
He's the Holy Ghost. Get out of here. Holy
Wait,
Spirit.
yeah. Wait.
In medieval Europe, stories of ghosts had them be more physical. So it's accounts of like people wrestling ghosts and physically restraining them. It's like this ghost comes up to you, it's like, I need to tell you my story, I was kidnapped and I need to find my killer, and he like wrestles them until a priest comes.
That's a solid D&D character. It's the ghost wrestler.
Wait, who is that character in the Bible who wrestled God?
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a character in the Bible who wrestled, I think it was Jacob. In one of the Old Testament stories, he just wrestled God over the river, losing a lot, and then overcame at the end.
I looked it up. It was Jacob.
Jacob wrestled God. He put him in a DDT.
Or I think he wrestled with an angel, not with. Metaphorically wrestled with God, but
yeah,
because he wrestled with an angel
and dropped him on his head.
Metaphorically suplexed God, cracked his skull open.
Metaphorically brought him to Suplex City.
There's a whole Wikipedia article about Jacob wrestling with the angel, which I think is a pretty good Wikipedia article.
Yeah, I think that he gave him the name Jacob, and that means like the man who wrestled God or something. There's some interesting stuff like that. Like in the story of Sodom, God was like, I want to take down the city because everyone's sinning. It's like, if I find 50 good people, will you let live? It's like, sure. What about 25? I mean, that's like half of that. That's pretty good. It's like, okay. What about 10? It's like, I see what you're doing there. Okay, you can find 2. It's fine. Find 2 good people.
God's like, okay, I guess I won't kill everyone.
It's basically that all of God's followers were lawyers from the start. That's basically what it was. Ghosts were also big in Shakespeare, and of course, Shakespeare influenced a lot of stories from then on. So there's Hamlet ghosts and stuff. The Christmas Carol had ghosts, all of that. So now we go into 1800s spiritualism. So it began in 1848 when these 2 women were like, yo, our house is haunted. We can knock on the walls and communicate with ghosts with yes or no answers. Then was like, holy shit, that's real. And the news spread across newspapers, and they started a business being mediums. And that started up around 1848.
Was that one of the first recorded commercial mediums?
Yeah, basically, in America at least. And then the next big element was in 1962 when Abraham Lincoln's son died of the fever. He was 12 or something. Him and his wife, Mary Lincoln, were in depression, and Mary leaned into spiritualism and like hired psychics and mediums and stuff to come to the White House. And she thought she had a connection with her son, which is really sad.
Oh, and if it helps her get peace, I guess it helps.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so because of that and like the first lady being into that kind of stuff, it started growing more and more. And after the Civil War, over 700,000 people died in the American Civil War. People just wanted to communicate with their families again. So the Ouija board came out in like 1890, and people would use that to communicate with their dead relatives, which is just really depressing.
That's surreal, because it's such a toy these days.
Yeah. And then, okay, here's the saddest one. There was a spiritualist newspaper called the Banner of Light, and it was just comforting letters from the spirits of dead soldiers that like the authors were like mediating from, and I was like, oh, that's awful.
Yeah, that's just so... It's, there's one angle where it's like, if you're bringing someone peace, that's good, but you're also profiting off this, like, you're either A, profiting off of ghosts, or making up stories. It's like, I guess if you provide someone comforting, but...
Yeah.
It's just, to a degree, just an illusion, so who knows if that's healthy.
What's also interesting is that, electricity was just getting discovered at this point and, like, being used to, like, communicate long distance and stuff. So spiritualists were like, yo, we can communicate with ghosts using electricity. And they use, like, EM meters and stuff. And they still do that now in, like, common ghost shows, right? Ghost hunting shows. They use, like, EMF, like, meters and stuff to sense ghost activity. That belief originated from when electricity was first discovered.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Huh.
I never knew where that came from.
So everyone's like, if they sense, like, weird electronic signatures, they think that's ghosts. And back then, electricity was really new, and those kind of meters were really new, so it's a lot more like, holy shit back then,
Yeah. There'd also probably be, like, less residual electronics, since, there wasn't much besides those telegraphs and lights.
Most of the mediums, well, there's also a lot of men, but it was stereotypically women mediums. And it kind of, like, helped women, get comfy jobs, travel around the country, getting paid to, like, talk to spirits and stuff. The spiritualist movement actually helped bring in the suffrage movement and women being able to vote.
Jesus Christ.
Most medium and spiritualists were suffrage movements, and they helped, like, spread the ideas and stuff through there.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, did you know that your dead grandma wanted women to vote? Yeah.
Secret American
spiritualism So spiritualism led to the right for women to vote. God bless
it
America.
helped.
Without ghosts, never.
Women would not have equal rights.
So women out there, thank your ghosts for giving you the right to vote.
Relatives.
Powerful.
Very powerful.
Tip your Ouija boards, everyone.
The spiritualist movement was really big. And one of the first ghost hunters was this guy named Harry Price in England. And his main thing was, like, debunking fraudulent mystics and psychics and stuff. But he also believed in ghosts and, like, would do his own research. So he was simultaneously, like, busting other people and doing his own research and, like, investigating haunted places. I'm like, shit, dude, that's sweet. What I want is, like, a Ghostbusters movie, but instead of in the 80s, it's in the 1880s.
That would be cool.
Like, they have, like, steampunk... machines to, like, catch ghosts, and they hunt like Civil War soldiers and, like, Native American spirits and shit in the Wild West.
Oh, of course it's gonna have, like, Nikola Tesla in it, regardless of, like, the era.
Yeah, the ghost of Nikola Tesla,
and then, like, Houdini comes in and, like, does, like, a story about him.
His lack of fear of death was actually because he knew ghosts were real.
Yeah, there's like this whole, like, thing about, 1800s, kind of like, what do you call it? It's kind of like false advertising, right? That was really big back then. It was like, this ailment that will, like, cure all your diseases. And there's a lot of, like, scams and stuff. That's kind of like, that era is where mediums and psychics and stuff come about.
There's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, actually, I just realized this, but it makes sense, because that's when printing press became common.
Oh.
So that's why misinformation and, like, scams really grew, was because information can now be spread through Telegram and, like, printing press, and before they couldn't really do that. So it makes sense why scamming and, like, shitty advertisements and stuff only came around at that point. Because only then was mass information, like, possible.
The birth of the spam also birthed ghosts.
I never realized that, but now it just makes sense.
It's also like a lot of the human nature to scam, to get money from, where it's like, these suckers are believing in ghosts. We can sell them a newspaper where they think their dead relatives are talking to them.
Yeah, there's just like this whole folklore around ghosts that like isn't really associated with any like religion, except maybe what was called spiritualism in the 19th century, where it's like, yeah, you know, if you have regrets or whatever, you'll stay, and then you can only come to peace if you do what you wanted to, whatever. And like, there's a lot of stories rely on that, like Hamlet and all that. So it's like a huge storytelling device, I guess, is what I would say ghosts are. And also, the Grim Reaper, I also want to mention that for a second, because the Grim Reaper is also not associated with any specific religion. It began about in like the medieval ages during the Black Plague and everything. And they just like had like an image to represent death, personify death, because death was all around everyone. And now, you know, and like he holds a psych because he's like pulling people into the underworld, and there's ghosts. It's like this whole folklore that I guess some people believe in.
I think I don't know if anyone's like...
Would it be a religion? That's what I'm saying.
It would be a culture, I would say, more than anything. Like, it's a part of the areas, and where you go, it changes slightly. Like, America has their kind of definite representation of, this is what the Grim Reaper looks like, this is what a ghost is like, where if you go to like Japan or somewhere, they may have like, you know, the yokai and the demons rather than
other supernatural elements are usually pretty specific, like zombies originate from like Aboriginal Africa, vampires are like Slavic folklore, ghosts are just like ghosts. Yeah.
Spooky ghosts.
Did you ever watch like Ghost Hunters or anything like that?
I have totally seen those shows. Not much, but definitely enough to understand, like, and kind of get the gist of it. I've talked with local ghost hunters, and it's pretty interesting. They're pathing around these photos, and they're like, "Look, this photo shows a ghost," and it's just like a weird kind of splotch on on a picture, and like it's fun to kind of get into it and be like, "Whoa, that's cool."
Did you know that the irate gamer became a ghost hunter?
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
It sounds like up his alley.
Yeah, there's like his website or like him and his friend who are ghost hunters, and it's like, once a YouTube celebrity, now ghost hunter.
I don't know which one is worse.
Celebrity.
It's like, man, I'd rather hunt ghosts than play this shitty game again.
Okay.
I'd rather go into that spooky mansion and talk to ghosts and play this shitty game.
He needs to get Abraham Lincoln on the show as a ghost. Dude, everyone will have to watch his show. He's got real Abraham Lincoln on. Like, you can't... AVGN can't top that.
No, he's like invaded a haunted house. It's like, get the fuck off my property.
You know, a lot of ghost hunters are pretty bogus. But, like, the real ghost hunter is Irate Gamer. Like, no one else is legit. But this guy, like, he's
the only one that you can go to and trust.
To play the shitty ghosts that suck ass. I know, to hunt the shitty ghosts that suck ass.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but speaking of like ghost pictures, hoax ghost pictures became a thing in the 1800s. They used like double exposure and early like photo techniques, old photo manipulation to create ghosts and stuff. And people just, you know, didn't know that much about film and photography because that was still a new thing. So that was also like a huge source of hoaxes.
I mean, it still is today.
Yeah, but they didn't use you know, Photoshop. They used like old film photography techniques, like double exposure to have like people overlaid on other people.
I love the practical kind of effects behind that, and like how much it's really interesting to hear how people do it, and like how double exposure works, and kind of the scam behind it is technical in its own, you know. The
technology used to create hoaxes leads to like making movies and stuff. And
yeah, cameras trap your soul in them too, so
maybe that originated from the 1800s too. Alright, so tell us your Arizona story.
Yes, so this is actually in the 1800s.
Oh.
And I have been to this cave, and they're very pretty. And so in Arizona, we have several caverns that are just, you know, they're full of the stalactites, the stalagmites, and they're really pretty, and they'll have, like, these underground crystals and things. And this one is Colossal Cave in Tucson, and supposedly there were bandits who were hiding out in this cave. I think they died in the cave, or got lost in it, or maybe were never found, and supposedly you can still find their fortune in the ghosts in this cave. And it's like, I was there and I never even heard this, so I don't even know if this is true. I highly recommend to visit any of your natural cave systems in your area, because they're normally gorgeous, and a lot of them have tours. Don't just go like blunking by yourself, but like look at, you know, if you find...
Yeah, I've been in one of those caves, and it's like unbelievably dark when you turn off the light. It's like, it's like darker than when you close your eyes. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
you could feel there could be a ghost in there, right? You know?
Yeah. I also bought this high-powered laser pointer. Not like the ones you play with your cats, but like the ones that are like really far distances and really bright. And I brought it into the cave, and it was the greatest thing ever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Just be able to look through. They might yell at you, though, for that.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
A lot of them I know are like, you can't take flash photography because it'll hurt the cave somehow.
How? It'll expose that it's all like a ruse.
The cave isn't real. It'll show the ghosts. It'll capture their soul. I've met ghost hunters locally, but I think they just kind of like wandered around the desert and like took pictures of like ghosts or something. Like, I don't think there's too many notable haunted places.
Yeah, there was this porn like studio that was like, we think that our studio is haunted. We just hear moans and screaming, and we don't know where it comes from. And then they create like a porn ghost hunting agency, which obviously was like advertisement for their porn thing. But they're like, we gotta investigate ghosts.
And I like the idea of haunted porn.
Dude.
This isn't normal porn. This is porn that's been haunted by a ghost.
But is the ghost sexy? Or is it like you're jerking off and then like a really like ugly person jumps out? It's like, ah!
I mean, if you're into that, a lot of people are into horror porn and stuff like that.
Squeeze its breast and then you get slimed.
It like, yeah.
That's not like a common meme of like the ghost from The Ring, like tries to get out, but her boobs prevent her from like getting past the TV screen.
Yep.
Yeah.
7 days. Man, remember when like folklore was cool? It's like, wow, spend 3 times in Bloody Mary. Now it's like, don't call this number at 3 a.m. or the boss baby will kill you.
Now it's the Momo challenge. I didn't even know that was a thing people were worried about.
What's the lore? What's the story?
Apparently there's this like demon whatever Momo, and she will kill you if you see her in a video, or she'll ask your kids to kill themselves. And parents are freaking out about it. And it's just like an internet meme. And there are a ton of articles about it, and they're all kind of hilarious out of context.
Yeah, this is like typical fear-mongering.
Of course, yeah.
Parents and stuff. And I know in Mexico they have a Momo-esque horror meme about Michael Jackson.
What?
Yeah, it's called Ayuwoki, is what the ghost is called, which is just, Annie, are you okay? But it's Ayuwoki. And it's called El Ayuwoki and El Hihi. And then this Michael Jackson ghosts are all spooky. And and they will come to you at 3 a.m. And in the lore, the only person who can save you from Ayuwoki is Freddie Mercury.
Nice.
I just watched all these like Spanish memes that I don't understand because I don't speak Spanish. Of like people getting haunted by Michael Jackson, and then like Freddie Mercury comes and saves them. And I'm like, man, memes are sure a thing.
You gotta love the like jarring culture shock.
Yeah. As soon as you see a meme in a different language,
it's like, wow, memes are dumb.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
I remember I went to Colombia back in like 2016, I think, 2017, one of those times. And I was sitting on the bus, and just this old man was like looking at Spanish minion memes on his phone next to me. And I was like, why? Why?
Well, people love minions. I don't know why. I like the idea that Kilroy was like the first meme.
Yeah.
He's one of the first like big like spread international.
Yeah, and then there was Batman Smells Lemon Lays an Egg. There was the Cool S. No one knows what the Cool S comes from.
Oh, the Cool S, yeah.
It's like we just find some document where like Adolf Hitler's like scribbling on it. It's like, hey, check it out. I made the Cool S.
It's actually an egregore.
Yes.
The Cool S is my symbol that represents my god, and every time a kid draws it, my god gets stronger.
Dude, that would be so cool.
They're the strongest god. That would be a really good like shitpost to make like fake like religious propaganda with like the S thing. Make it look really old.
I know on the back of like the crayon boxes, it's like you see this guy named Tip, and it's like the crayon but legs and like a face. Maybe there's this funny crayon character popping up a Crayola progress. Well, Tip, as they call him, is more of a spirit to the person. He loves the creative energy in kids, so he decided to take the form of a Crayola crayon back in 1903. Hey, that's when the first Crayola crayon was rolling out the line. Coincidence? I think not. Tip is totally magical. He can change colors or appear as many different colored tips at the same time. And so this is like posted on X Paranormal. It's like, Crayola admits they created an egregore that ciphers out the creative energy of children. What is its end goal? How do we stop him?
Yeah, that was so funny. I love that post. just, all these companies have egregores, and they're just wielding
The
them.
logos are sigils.
Yes, McDonald's. Ronald McDonald's is an egregore.
Oh, have you heard the theory that so people have like have the idea of like subliminal messaging where like part of spirit code law that you have to like warn people when you're going to do a horrible event or something? Something
What?
stupid. Why Simpsons predict 9/11 and stuff. It's like it's part of the Illuminati's spirit law. You have to warn people before you do it.
Oh.
But
I
I
see.
heard a better explanation, which is that the subliminal messages are actually hypersigils that like force like those events into reality by hiding it into popular media, which is way better.
What? That is really good.
That's a way better theory than spirit law.
See, yeah, spirit law is so boring and so so
Contrived.
formal and
Yeah, so there's like there's this forum like believes in all that, and they're like they read all subliminal messages, and they're like, okay, there's going to be like some horrible event at this tennis match like tomorrow. So they all were like waiting for the tennis match to happen because that would prove that subliminal messages are real, and then nothing happened, and they were like, we stopped it. We stopped it.
Lad.
We stopped the
Yeah.
massacre at the tennis match because, according to spirit law, if you find it out, they can't do it anymore. We just saved thousands of lives from the,
it's like
from the bombing
class-
we predicted was going to happen that now they didn't. They're just like
That's
patting
good.
themselves on the back. It's like conspiracy theorists saved the day again.
if you pay attention to it, it can't happen. Who punishes spirit law? Like, are ghosts just gonna
I
come
don't
up
know.
and
The
consume you?
Baphomet, whoever they worship.
The astral god
The
will punish you.
Baphomet.
I have another goofy spiritual thing to
Yeah.
talk about. So in Arizona, there is kind of a far away with all those pretty red rocks that's in Sedona, and there is a specific place in Sedona that has this healing vortex. And this is actually in like their official website, like in the actual Sedona website. They're like, "Come look at our healing vortex," and just supposedly, if you do yoga with these rocks, it will heal you. And like there's like they even say there's like no like no one knows why. It's just like, how did this start? Who just was like someone's like, man, I feel really peaceful here. It's a vortex. And there's also a lot of like in Sedona people will like sell you crystals and like they're like the healing vortex will charge your crystal. And just like it's a bunch of like I guess a tourist trap in a way.
Dude, I want there to be like crystal charging banks that like it's kind of like a gas pump. It's like just go over there and it just like charge your crystals. It's like thanks, here's $5.
I'm gonna hide my Geo crystal in a porn studio.
My show crystals.
You know how they have like people like have those like Wi-Fi catchers and they just like plug them into a wall somewhere and they like steal your data?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like sneak my JO crystal into a porn studio. Just like put it on someone's like back like a GPS tracker. And they're just like, oh,
Steal all the sexual energy.
I'm gonna steal all their loosh.
If sex magic is real, then porn stars have to be the greatest magicians of all time.
That's how they can do all those crazy poses. Normal people can't do
Oh my
that.
god. We've cracked the code, lads.
They're literal sexual gods.
The more people jerk off to the porn, the more energy they give to the sigils.
They become egregores. Sexual egregores powered by the horniness of teenagers on the internet. That's the moral of the story. Force your tulpa. Waifus are real.
And that's the end of the podcast, lads.
It's over. We've solved Astral Plane.
We've solved the astral plane.
Astral plane solved.
Spirit Law's over.
Spirit
Watch
law.
out.
We
Nothing's
solved.
protecting you anymore.
Wait, if it's spirit law that like if you know it's gonna if you can find out the codes then it doesn't happen. What if you just like randomly predict every single possible tragedy so that they can't do it?
Oh my god, no! You just have a computer. Just predict it and like put it out on a Twitter feed.
And then they're like, damn, spirit law! The computers have defeated spirit law.
You could literally make a machine learning that just pumps them out and nothing can happen anymore.
It just becomes the conspiracy iceberg chart controlled by AI.
That'd actually be really funny, just to like, mess with someone who believes in type of stuff.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, don't worry about it, I solved spirit law. It's over now.
When can we incorporate computers into magic? That's what I want.
Computers are magic. I don't know if
Yeah.
you ever, like, how did that work?
Like,
Magnet?
I don't play the Shin Megami Tensei series, but I know that like in the first NES game, I played a little bit of the first NES game just because I was bored, and they're like, demons are coming. Download this spell onto your computer and save it onto the floppy disk. And I'm like,
Yep.
holy shit.
That's what's great about Shin Megami Tensei.
Now.
And they also later get like cell phone apps that control demons. That's what everyone wants. You know how convenient that would be?
Yeah.
Just on your phone, just like, I'm just gonna, send my demon, send my tulpa out and manipulate the world for me.
It's just so common in Japanese media where, like, cell phones have, like, magical powers. What's up with that?
Because everyone wants it. It's such an escapist fantasy.
Your cell phone turns into a Power Ranger or Super Sentai or whatever.
Oh, yeah. There's
Your cell phone plays in the death game and tells you who's going to kill you or whatever.
There's that anime recently versus an isekai where it's, I went to a fantasy world and the only thing I got to bring is my cell phone or something.
Yeah.
And it, like, makes him a god because of his cell phone.
Yeah.
That anime's really bad.
My favorite isekai is the Mii.
Is which one?
Mii Sports Resort.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort is you transferred into an anime world and forced to duel to death in tennis. Where the bombing is gonna happen, but it was prevented because you were there. Can we get a Wii Sports anime?
Yes, oh my god. Please.
Or at least like an anime OP. Like someone has to be able to make that.
It's like you're playing Wii Golf, and it's like, it's just the same sweet holes over and over. Just like marriage. If you don't get it, it's because women have sweet holes. That's a joke. The Miis are just really funny to me.
Miis are great. They're wholesome, but they're also really, like, goofy. Not like Funko Pop or something, which is, like, chaotic evil. Like, Miis are just chaotic good. You could definitely create a alignment chart. Funko Pops are definitely chaotic evil. Lego is lawful good.
Lawful good is Lego. Play mobile, neutral.
I'd say neutral. I'd say...
Oh, you think Lego is neutral?
What about Play Mobile or Lincoln Logs?
Well, that's in Lego. What about Nendoroid?
They're really expensive most of the time, so...
Chaotic, lawful good, chaotic good.
No, neutral good is Bionicle.
Yeah, okay.
The true stylized humanity, Bionicles.
God, I wish I was a Bionicle.
The farthest form of human evolution.
I have this iceberg chart of, like, the deep Bionicle lore.
Bionicle lore is intense for no reason.
Bionicle is based off, like, some native culture. What was it?
Is it?
No, Bionicle is based off of, like, some, like, small, like, Pacific Islands religion.
What?
Did you know that Bionicle stands for Bionic Chronicle?
Does it?
I guess that makes sense.
I guess so.
Bonkles.
Bonkle. I love bonkles.
Bonkles. I love bonkles.
They're called the Matoid language. Biological Chronicle.
So what if Bionicles is an isekai this whole time? And it's what the progression of humanity will become in thousands of years. As we've been consumed by machines and forced into tiny masks.
Okay, I'm just scrolling through the Wikipedia page for Bionicle and the lore is so deep.
Oh yeah.
Why is
There's a lot of lore for no real reason.
J.R.R. Tolkien doesn't have shit on this.
On bonkles.
J.K. Rowling wishes
Bonkles.
her stories had more lore than Bionicle. Okay, it's New Zealand.
RPG.
It's New Zealand.
What?
Yes.
Huh?
Bionicle is based off the Maui tribes of New Zealand.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the lore is, and some of the words they use is based off this New Zealand native tribe.
Is Bionicles cultural appropriation?
Yeah, they actually had a lawsuit with the tribe, and and the tribe was like, "It's okay, you're respectful. We'll let you make money off of our culture."
I mean, it's an interest. Like they do a good job of making it interesting.
Yeah. Oh my god, why is Bionicle so deep?
It's such a good representation of like kind of their raw childhood imagination. I loved combining bonkles and making like the massive like monster ones that are just useless and fall apart, but they were really cool.
What was that image? Just like how Nelson Mandela could bring back Bionicle or something?
Nelson Mandela died for Bionicles. He died for their sins. I know.
I wish he did for Bionicles. I want my fucking Bionicles. I want new Bionicles, goddammit.
This has just become Bionicle podcast.
Okay, I have the screen cap.
Tune in next week for the Bionicle pod.
I have the screen cap, so it puts it on K, talking about, like, Bionicle. And this guy's like, my favorite Bionicle was the chick, but I didn't know she was a girl. And then a few years later, I realized my favorite Bionicle here was a chick. and I started thinking I was gay. At 12, it ruined my life. At 13, I was cross-dressing and stealing my mom's dildo. Until I went to school, I'm gay. And then at 18, I realized I wasn't gay. I just liked the girl Bionicle. But the damage was done. Fuck you, Bionicle. Fucking Legos.
I did like as a kid. I liked how Legos and Bionicles were like vaguely compatible. You
Yeah.
can make some weird Bionicle Lego hybrid monsters, which is probably heresy in the Bionicle lore. Just real quick, the last Bionicle set was in 2016, so
Wow.
who knows? Maybe the comeback 2019 be the year of Bionicles.
Have you guys seen that one, like, kid show where it's like, there's these monsters and you scan them with your cards to become them or something? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Chaotix.
The
Chaotix. Okay, Chaotix.
Oh!
Amazing Canadian television. I love that TV show.
I played some of the online card game of that.
Too bad it's gone.
All I know, there's like a boys versus girl episode where like one person has like girl monsters and the other has boy monsters, and when they win, they find out that like the girl monsters are all played by a guy and all the guy monsters are played by a girl, and they transformed. It's like, so who won? And it's like, I don't know, this is stupid anyway. And the episode ends.
The moral of the story is gender is a meme.
Man, if you can make a boys versus girls episode of a TV show, what would you do?
It would be Bionicles, obviously. I'm sorry.
Welcome to the Bionicle Podcast. Come to take over.
Boy versus girl tulpas. We're gonna talk about the repressed boy tulpa.
Okay, do you guys have any other like weird like TV shows that were based on like card games or something? I'm trying to think of some.
Okay, do you remember the Marble Blast? Like, it wasn't a card game, but it was the ones where you'd shoot marbles out of the little plastic things, and there was an anime based on it.
It's like making an anime of Hungry Hungry Hippos.
What are they called? It was kind of like Beyblades, but somehow lamer than Beyblades.
How do I get labored in Beyblades? Let it rip!
B-Demand.
B-Daman. Oh, Oh, I know, I've seen this. Yeah, B-Daman.
It's these, and I think they still make them, but they're like so lame. Like as a kid, they were cool because I shot marbles, right? And like marbles are cool. It's just literally they just shoot marbles. That's all they do.
Did you know that in the Beyblade anime, Moses parted the Red Sea for Beyblade?
Yeah.
Yes, that screenshot's amazing.
You know what that reminded me of? Bakugan.
Oh, I had
love
so
Bakugan.
many Bakugan.
I was too poor as a child, but I loved there was one game that was really good that I really enjoyed playing.
Was an only child, and I wasted so much money on goddamn Bakugan, and I regret it immensely to this day.
I was also I kind of an only child, but my family was just poor as dicks, so
It's not like Yu-Gi-Oh, which you could like sell Yu-Gi-Oh cards today. It's like no one cares about Bakugan. Like the whole system was such a scam too, because it wasn't like, you know, in a card game, cards are like usable and like you can mix decks together. But in Bakugan, it's literally they all have a number value, and if they don't have a higher number, they're just useless.
yep.
Wow.
So the game is just like literally boiled down to which ball had the higher number printed on the ball.
Yep. Also, I'm
The
pretty
toys
sure
are cool.
Bakugan made a comeback. I think they're an anime airing currently.
Really? The actual game is stupid, but the little toys are like adorable, and like just because they're little magnet boys. Magnets are cool.
I'm also looking into like old child MMOs aimed at kids like Toontown. Remember the commercials for Toontown?
I do. Wizard 101 is still up.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have a Battle Royale mode now.
Do they? I
know.
know that.
That was just a tweet I
Oh.
made where Wizard 101 like got sued for Fortnite dances or something.
I wouldn't put it past them. I could totally see that
Wizard
happening.
101, Toontown, there's Neopets and Gaia Online and Webkin.
I was at a friend's house recently, and we were playing Smash Bros. And like someone was like, "Oh, get your brother to play with us," and he was like, "He can't. He's playing Wizard 101. He can't play Smash Bros. He's in a Wizard 101 raid." And I'm like, okay.
Wizard 101 raid?
Him and a group of his friends had like made a Wizard 101 group, and we're power leveling through Wizard 101. And they were all gonna go pay for Wizard 101 for a week and do all the paid content and then stop.
What sigil
Why are
does
you-
Wizard 101 teach you about?
Wizards 101 is the secret, deep lore of how to use magic in real life, but no one knows.
Wizard 101 teaches
Fuck.
real magic, but no one knows.
I mean, it is called Wizard 101. It's the entry-level wizard class.
And then then they take you into further, like Wizard 201, Wizard 301, and you learn like further dark powers.
I would take a wizard degree, get a bachelor's in wizardry.
That's how Purple learned to become a wizard.
Oh
He
yeah.
took Wizard 101. What? Can you think of any other MMOs aimed at kids? I'm trying to think of more.
I'm trying to think. Was Gaia 101? Gaia Online?
Gaia
Is that a
Online
kids
was-
one?
Yeah, it was. Fusion
is-
Ball.
RuneScape?
Oh, Adventure.
Oh, God.
Guardian Quest, whatever it's called.
Adventure Quest, yep.
That's it. That's still going. There's Adventure Quest Worlds now.
Okay, so there's Wizard 101, Pirate 101,
Club Penguin.
Lego Worlds, Adventure Quest Worlds, Neopets, okay. Pirate 101, okay. Teaches you how to pirate movies.
What's the one where the pool's closed? What is that?
Oh, Habbo
Oh,
Hotel.
Habbo.
Does that count?
Oh my god, Habbo, yeah.
Oh
Did
shit,
people
Pop Tropica!
I hear a lot of
She
people made
wants-
a lot of money off of Habbo.
Really? Like selling stuff to kids, or
Yeah, like scamming kids out of their hard-earned Habbo coins or whatever the
Yeah.
RuneScape's like MMO
I'll find
for
a
like
video.
12-year-olds.
I have this memory, I had a kid in elementary school who was really good at drawing. It was like, 3rd grade or something. And he drew a comic called Sesame Street Z.
Oh my god.
And it was, the story was that Brawley came down to Elmo's world. And Elmo's world was a planet, right? So they flew. So Brawley was flying to space. He finds Elmo's world and flies down to Sesame Street and like whips up Elmo's and Big Bird's head. And so they collected Dragon Balls and bring them back to life as Saiyans. And then Elmo and Big Bird fly to like Namek to fight Brawley. And we have like nuclear hugs and shit. Kamehameha hug. It was called Kamehameha hug.
Oh,
And it was like,
That's
elementary school humor, right? So
No,
it was
yeah, that's
really,
very
really
good.
funny to us as a kid. But he like had his whole like Pop Tropica like manga planned out.
that is so.
Extended universe.
That is just so pure in 3rd grade. I had a comic in like
I
5th
remember-
grade.
Oh
I
shit.
remember back in my friend had a Minecraft comic with me.
Oh.
Dude, my comic was a Cloud Man, and he was a man who was a cloud, and he would troll a stick guy, and that was it. It was mostly like just visual, like slapstick gag humor.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I guess the middle school zombie story that I was written into and the Sesame Street Z, that's the other stories. You guys know any stories that like friends at school made?
My friend had this comic about a crab, and his name was McCall Crab or something. And that was the entire comic, with the joke that he was a crab. And I really liked how he drew the crab, because it was just very simple. And that's all I can remember, it just came to me.
Yeah, but Brandon, do you know any
I know any what? Sorry?
stories that like kids made or like comics kids made or whatever?
Not really, no.
This is why we need to make kids comics right now.
Force kids to make comics.
We're gonna have a kid
Dude.
comic sweatshop.
I'm just saying, if I had to raise a kid, I would force them to make art and brag about it. Knowing me, that's what I would do.
Well, don't encourage them. Don't.
No, I would force them. Knowing me, I would force them.
Oh,
It'd be like, hey, how's that comic you said you're gonna make? It's like, oh, I'm gonna play Smash Bros. And I'm like, smash the screen. I'm like, you're gonna make your comic and you're gonna like it. And then he like draws one page and I like share it with all my friends. Like, hey, look what my son drew.
Wow, look at how artistically gifted.
That's what I would do. Like, no video games till you write 5 video essays. I'll help you edit them.
On the furry fandom.
if I don't see your dissertation on the furry fandom by tomorrow, you're grounded. You make your kid make memes. You gotta get 5 reposts on this Instagram post.
And you're
You're not eating dinner. I can't imagine how messed up like our generation's kids are gonna be.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having a kid right now, versus
Yeah.
like how they're gonna turn out, how they're gonna be.
I can already imagine my kid being genetically gifted with extremely easy addiction problems and being a fat fucking retard.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were cursed to look at the Irish while gifted to Hispanic in my play.
I've been fucking the Irish while you have Hispanic flowing through
If we combine our powers, it can make you United Ireland.
them.
Make Ireland great again.
I don't know anything about the IOA or anything like that. I just know that it's funny to me.
About the what? Wait, who?
About
United Ireland.
yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
Northern Ireland belongs to the UK, while the rest of
Yes,
Ireland
yes.
is its own country, and they want to combine their countries together again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't blame them. I know they want to. I know people say it's like, oh, they're not economically viable or whatever, but I'm sure they would be okay. UK probably just doesn't want to give up the taxes more than anything.
The Irish tax.
I mean, yeah, that's what half of, like, you know, you have a land, you can, like, you tax the heck out of it.
St. Patrick got the snakes out of England, but he can't get the British out.
Yeah. I'm sure in a year and a half, this will be out of date, and something, you know, UK will be on fire, and it'll be the cyberpunk wasteland of 2020.
Yeah, I was in this, like, mainly British Discord, and, like, every time I joined voice chat, they're arguing about, like, North and South. I'm like, what? What's going on? It's like, well, you see, the South is all the city folk, while the North is the country folk, and they hate each other.
It's such a small country, too. Like, it doesn't even, like, matter. It's not like the US has, like, what, you know, the 50 different cultural regions, and the British is just, like...
Small,
rainy
wet,
island.
depressed.
Conquer the rest of the world.
It's kind of crazy in Britain. I know they have, like, the train system, but apparently it's cheaper to fly from one half of Britain to the other.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's so messed up, their train system. It's literally cheaper to fly from, like, the bottom of Britain to the top.
Wow.
Pro tip for UKers out there. I think they already know that, though. They're probably like, oh, these goddamn Americans.
These fucking Yanks. Get out of here. Did you know that, did you know that, what was it called? Yankee Doodle was a song made by the British to make fun of Americans?
Yeah.
And then
we took it.
Yeah, and then we took it, and we're like, yeah, we're proud to be Yanks.
Did you know that macaroni is actually a style of fashion?
Yeah.
The joke is that macaroni is a very high-tier fashion style, and he just stuck a feather in his hat and was like, this is so macaroni.
Yeah.
We gotta bring back macaroni.
That's what people should do with the N-word. Make it the Yankee Doodle.
No. I'm gonna say the Y word.
I'm gonna say the Y word.
You can't say that. That's our word.
Yeah, I can't say it.
I'm gonna say the Y word. That's racist. You can't say the Y word.
Yank!
Did you know that tea was taxed?
I think it's like there was some post recently. It was actually funny where like what an Arizona tea in Britain is like $4, and it was like this is why we had the tea party. You get those big bottles of Arizona iced tea for $1, and it's like all your daily calories. I know those watermelon ones are amazing, but they're basically just like 64 ounces of soda in a metal can. You think it's good because it's not carbonated and it has watermelon on it.
Alright, I'm gonna look into Toontown and say like asking for Toon GF. Looking for Toon.
Oh my god.
Looking for Toon GF on Toontown.
Your wife's gonna break up with you because you keep on getting more GFs.
We set a limit! 3 girlfriends, no more!
Has she defeated your 4 evil exes yet? I don't know if you can really be married.
Yeah, I have to defeat...
That's how the Scott Pilgrim-esque lore goes.
Yeah. Dude, Scott Pilgrim but with furries? Dude. Dude.
$1 million idea.
Someone's done that, definitely. That comic's so popular. I actually have Scott Pilgrim volume sitting right here.
Oh, sweet.
I freaking love Scott Pilgrim.
Are one of my favorite books.
Yes, me too. Shout out to Brian Lee O'Malley for being just a genuinely dank person and making a really cool book.
He doesn't need our shout out.
No, he doesn't. He's like still published and like making good comics.
I think he's still with Oni. I think he's doing.
I think he is. He's doing Snot Girl, right?
Yeah, Snot Girl.
So he's not actually drawing Snot Girl, but he is reading it.
Oh, Lala, have you read Scud?
I've heard of Scud. I've heard it's
Scud.
I love Scud.
I've heard it's good. Rick and Marty, the Scud video.
Yeah, because okay, so Rob Schrab or whatever made Scud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's good friends of Dan Harmon. And Dan Harmon actually wrote some comics, wrote a spin-off.
He wrote the other one.
Yeah, he wrote the one about the mafia people. And also Dan Harmon and Rob Schrab, the creator of Scud, made Heat Vision and Jack.
Yeah. Heat Vision and Jack is so good. I'm so sad.
And like because they loved Heat Vision and Jack, it wasn't made. They made Channel 101.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like, there's like this whole like community of like creators that are all good friends, which is like Dan Harmon, Justin Roiland, Rob Schrab, and stuff that makes like similar art and stuff. So yeah, I feel like Rick and Morty. I guess check out Scud, even though it's totally different in every way.
I think Rick and Morty was kind of the accumulation of a lot of those.
Yeah.
A lot of those people coming together.
Yeah.
Which gotten meme status, but it is genuinely pretty good.
And you know why I think it is? It's because like when people watch the first season, they didn't expect it to be so good. They were kind of like watched it expecting a mediocre show and like, oh shit, this is really good. And then they watch 2 and 3 with high expectations, and it just can't live up to their expectation they created.
Yeah.
I think it had pretty consistent quality over the seasons. It's just that people had really low expectations, so season 1 like really blew them out of the water, and then just couldn't live up to expectations for the rest of the seasons. That's my opinion.
A lot of stuff does that, where like it has a really strong start and gets like crazy hyped and just becomes this monster of a fandom that just consumes everything voraciously, and everyone's like, I hate this now because of the people who like this.
Looking for Wizard GF on Wizard 101.
That's the moral of the story.
Looking for Pop Tropica GF.
You gotta collect more GFs than Charles if you want to be a real GF. This is my GF wizard magic. It is fueled by channeling my GFs from the 4 corners of the earth. I'm definitely like following your antics of like getting all those furry GFs was really good.
Okay, I want to briefly cover this. I have 4 furry girlfriends, which was my goal the whole time, was to get a harem. So there's Twitter Girl, there's Loku, there's Emily, and there's Not TM, who has been role-playing with me about sex and stuff. So I posted on this channel the Ponytown meme wedding, which was pretty good.
I guess.
That was legendary.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, so now I no longer have a furry GF harem. Now I'm just married, so that's good.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, I made it into a Twitter moment, so you can...
Oh, that's good. I'll have to look. Everyone go check that out if you haven't followed Charles Barkley's Twitter.
Yeah, I posted the final meme. Go to Twitter to see the 4 furry GFs of the apocalypse: death, war, pestilence, and famine. And I put all 4 of them into it.
Who is Loku Pup Pup? Who is Pup Pup? I've never seen
Not
that one.
TM. He's the bi boy who will play sex with me.
Oh, okay. Internet relationships are a meme, though, in general. Well, some of them can be real, and then some of them can be like, who knows how ambiguous this is. And
yeah.
Because I've been there. I think a lot of us have fallen in love with the internet, or like had crushes of the internet, and it's just like what the heck?
That's what my whole meme's about.
Yeah, the whole shit post.
It's about how it's all meaningless and stupid. I just exposed the performance art I was doing to expose that internet relationships are dumb, and you can collect GFs really easily.
Yeah, you just have to ask and be persistent.
Yeah.
You'll get there eventually. And,
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
I don't know if we want to wrap this up or if we want to keep on, if we have an angle to go after.
What angles do we have? Do we have acute angles? Obtuse angles?
I think we've sandpapered down all the angles of this cube, and it's just a sphere. Everyone wish bread.
Speedy recovery and
send your astral energies to his address on the astral plane.
And send your Bitcoin his way. Please follow Charles Barkley's YouTube channel and podcast channel. And Twitter, yeah, follow him on Twitter if you're not already. If you've listened to this somehow and aren't following Charles Barkley on Twitter, you should do that.
Follow me on Twitter at breadbread because that's the only thing I can plug right now.
Go to 8chan/Tulpa.
Yeah.
Use that. If you want Tulpa and need help and need to ask, go to 8chan/Tulpa.
Yeah.
Yes, you can join Charles's Discord. I'm in here. There are many nice people with Tulpas and lots of experience in here, and we'll probably help you. Or shitpost. One of the 2 things.
Either way, I'm this far from the mic.
Yeah, and I'm this far from the mic.
What?
And together we are these
far from the mic.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Play us out.
Da da dun da da dun 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 dun.